and to pull up, do a search based off of the zip code that I wanted to visit for the day, and then I just went through a list of calling to see if I could stop in, and if that day wasn't a good day, I scheduled a day for that particular nursing home, and I dropped off brochures and made myself known to the social worker and the person at the front desk.
And you said it resulted in the lead. How did it result in the lead?
It resulted in a lead from the person at the front desk who knew someone who needed home care that wasn't able to go into a nursing home.
Oh, okay, great. Wow. That's awesome. See, and that's just one place. And how many places did you contact, or did you visit there, or you called?
I was able to visit that one.
And
so
that was the only one you did?
I was able to visit maybe 30% of the ones I called, and 70% wanted me to come at a later date, and I just scheduled the times with them.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah. That's how it is. That's how it works, and that's just all it takes pretty much. And I've just been really trying to drive that, and all the boot camps and just all the meetings, and everybody I'm working with. It's just about getting out there, making yourself known, shaking hands, meeting people, and networking. You have to make yourself known in the senior community to provide services to the senior community. They have to know you have to exist. So that's awesome. Anything else? Anyone else? We did touch on websites. Did you guys research anything or look into getting your website updated or learning a little bit more about Google searching? Google ads or Facebook ads, because we did talk about that pretty in detail, in depth last week. So I was just hoping somebody would have at least made the attempt to start the research, if nothing else. So a couple of things I want to, if that's not, if that's all the questions right now and that's all the comments for now, I'm going to go ahead and get started. One thing that, a cool new tip, a cool new tool that I'm going to be implementing real soon to help the office is an answering service. And this answering service that we're using is designed to take all the incoming calls. We've been getting a whole lot of calls, and we haven't, and it's almost like the staff are missing. I feel like that we're getting a lot of missed calls. And then, every time you get a missed call, it doesn't seem like you call them back. You don't always get somebody on the phone. And then it's like now it's like a game of tag where you're trying to you're trying to get back in contact with them. When as though if somebody was there to answer that call, we would have had a better opportunity to get their information and then follow up with them and eventually, hopefully turn them into a client. So this answering service, what it's going to allow us to do is to be available 24/7, and it's always going to be a live person answering the phone. And I thought about this for my coaching clients. I was like, this is a great opportunity for somebody starting off small to, man their business. A lot of times you guys have jobs, during work hours, and you can't really take care of the phones. So they're answering the phone for you. You provide them with a script. They're reading that script to them, and then they're sending you the lead's actual information. It's a great service. We really recommend you try it out. It's the one we're using right now is Pat Live. It's called PAT Live. There's quite a few of them out there that we kind of checked into, but this is the one we settled on. So again, this is just a tool to kind of supplement some of the things that we already had going on, because we just don't feel like, I don't want to miss any calls. I don't want to miss any opportunities, because it's just so intense right now as far as the lead flow is coming in a lot. Usually the summers for us are the busiest times. So we really wanted to make sure our systems was in place to really capture all of these opportunities. And these are just leads coming in from signs, coming in from direct mail, Nothing like from referral sources, because referral sources, they usually contact us directly. But these are like what they call direct marketing leads or marketing leads that's coming from stuff like that. So definitely look into maybe implementing a service like that. Another thing I wanted to touch on was the importance of just really being organized and structured it early on in the beginning. I use I don't know. I posted a video a while ago, and it's still on Facebook and YouTube, and it's about how I outline my company in a mind map. It's an older map. It's an older video. I did it about 4 years ago, but it's set up. It's set up to have like everything organized and visually in front of me. So every aspect of my company, I can see it at all times. I can pull this app up, and I can see exactly what's going on at all times, from all the marketing that's going on, all the staff, everything that's going on with the staff, everybody we have, everything that's going on with billing, schedules, things that I want to do in the future, like bigger vision stuff, like everything that's going on with my company, I have it in this mind map, and I can look at it, tweak it, and kind of see, in real time what's happening. The mind maps that I prefer is called MindMeister, and I think that everyone should at least get familiar with this strategy or this concept, because a lot of times you could do it, like write it down in the little bubbles and stuff like that on your own, but the digital version, having it in front of you on your computer where you can put links in there, different website stuff, different organizations, different information that lets you upload in different ways, like attachments, websites, everything that you need can be in one place. And it's great for, like she was mentioning earlier, building your list, so you can have like a map strictly for all the organizations that you're going to contact, the time that you contact them, when you need to follow up with them. And this may be even before you may not have a software program yet. You can kind of use this to, organize some of your stuff that you got going on in your company. That's another little quick tip that I wanted to make sure I got out before I forgot about it. I've been doing that for a while. Has anyone been out networking to like any networking events this past week, like meetups, small business meetings, anything like that? I really want to make sure that you guys are getting out every week and meeting other business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs in your community. Has anyone done that so far this week, over the last few days, last week or last month period? Has anyone done it at all?
I didn't actually go to a marketing event, but I was invited on a radio show like 2 Sundays ago, and I was able to mention, talk about my agency and just make mention of the services that we offer.
So it's a local radio show in your area?
Yeah.
You went on, or you got invited to go on?
I got invited to go on. One of the doctors that work at the nursing home that I currently work at, she knew about my agency, and then she invited me on. I've been on twice now.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Have you had any feedback or anything that?
Yes, I've had leads from.
Go ahead.
I've had leads from the show. And when they call, the first thing they say is they heard me on the radio station, and they were calling to find out about the services. And I got one person from that.
Wow, that's great, and that's how that's what it works. That's how it really works. You have to, and that's the beauty of going into these networking events, because you're gonna meet other entrepreneurs. You're gonna see what other people are doing, what's working in other industries. It might not be connected directly to your industry, home care, but you can still get, ideas and then access to other industries. So never Don't think that just because it's not a home care event, which you'll find, you very seldom to find an actual home care event, on a weekly or monthly basis, that you still don't need to be going out there, shaking hands, meeting all the, different, business owners, current business owners, or aspiring business owners in your community. Lawyers have meetings like on Meetup.com, accountants, insurance people, like all these different people who deal with caregivers. I mean, seniors. They're at these events, and you want to start developing relationships with them. And there's no better way than going to a free event, shaking some hand, passing out some business cards, and making yourself available to them. And also letting them, trying to figure out a way that you can be of value to them as well. So it's not just like a one-way street. And if there's, really nothing you could do at the end of the day, just let them know that you offer referral fees. Estate planners, stuff like that. These people are always in these events. Insurance people, because they're always trying to sell their services. Accountants, they have senior clients or their clients have parents. So never think that, everybody who's doing business is interested in referrals, and you need to be out there, putting your name on the list when it comes to somebody they can contact for that particular service, which is home care. Another thing I really wanted to touch on that I feel like people aren't doing enough of, and this is just me being able to see from a wide view of because, and I'm talking to a lot of people all the time. I'm getting a lot of emails from a lot of people who are getting started. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm behind the scenes, so I'm hearing everything. I'm getting a lot of texts, calls from different people who are trying to start their company, their home care services, but it seems like no one's really investing in themselves. It's like no one's really investing in their professional and personal development. I know we talk a lot about the technical stuff, the strategic stuff, like what you need to do in your marketplace, what you need to do, to get your company set up when it comes to different services and who's running your background check, who's doing this, who's doing that, how to get caregivers, how to get clients, but how do you actually grow your business and develop your business into a legitimate company that, is going to make money for the long term? And there's only one way of doing that, and that's through investing in yourself personally, personal development, and professional development. And what I mean by that is that you have to invest in specific, specialized education, whether that's, you need to learn about, you need to really study marketing. You need to spend time, read 3 or 4 books, a month on marketing, leadership, sales. Sales is very important. For years, I didn't know that I didn't have a grasp of the sales, and I didn't know that there was like a big difference between sales and marketing. I thought like marketing was the whole thing. Like I just need to make as many people know that I exist, and that was it, and that was enough. Until I ran across a book, and I put it into virtual business coaching. When I first started it, when I first did it, recorded it, the book was in there, The Art of the Deal or The Art of the Sale. Sandler, his name was the Sandler guy, the Sandler training, sales training. And just like when I read his books and started reading more of his material, it just totally changed my approach to business. It totally changed my concept on how to take someone from lead to close. You know what I mean? Lead, and not only to close, but to close over and over and over again, to keep them happy, to keep them as a client long term, and then upsell them, for more services. Like, just because you got somebody in here, you get them in here at 20 hours a week. Okay, now we need to get them to 40 hours a week. Like, what are we going to do? What's the strategy for upselling? Okay, we've had these 5 clients for the last 6 months. They really love our services. We need to get some referrals out of these clients before something goes. I always feel like, if I do good to if I'm servicing a client and they really loving our service, they love the caregivers, the customer service, they're being able to, count on us for things that they need. They're happy. We need to hurry up and figure out how to get some referrals out of these people. How do you go about doing that? You learn these things from sales, like creating a sales tree. Is a concept that I learned through the Sandler training, where every client, you try to get 5 or 6 more clients from each one of those clients. So they're like, your current client is like the trunk, and then your referrals are like the limbs, and you're trying to close all these limbs and these are the people that they refer you to. But if you don't ask, they're not going to never think to do it most of the time. If you don't ask, you have to ask for the referral. So I'm just saying that to say that you need to start. We need to really focus on reading about business strategy, business development, leadership, sales, just entrepreneurship in general, cutting edge stuff. Where the market is going in the future, and really become like an industry, an industry expert. And how do you do that? You have to study the industry. You have to see what's going on. Like, how is technology going to affect this industry in 5 years? Like, how is technology? What is going on with all these companies? There's a whole bunch of companies coming out of Silicon Valley with these technological ideas trying to disrupt this industry, home care. And how is that looking? How is that going to affect your business? How are you going to adjust to that, or use those things to your advantage? I read an article yesterday, and I post everything that I read. I posted on the Alan Cheney Business Coaching Facebook page, not the group or anything like that, but just on the actual Facebook page. And it was an article about a franchise. I think it was Home Instead. One of the big franchises are going to ClearCare, which is a software. We use Access Care, but they're going to Clear. I don't know who they were using prior to, but now they're going to ClearCare. There's another software service, because ClearCare, based on the new, Medicaid is going to be paying for non-medical services that come in the next year. They're preparing their software to cater to those changes in the marketplace. So that makes me like, now. So the first thing I did, I set up a consultation with ClearCare, and I wouldn't have knew that had I not been locked into the locked into the industry. And how did I get that information? I got Google alerts. Every time something happens in the home, I got Google alerts for the phrase home care, assisted living, home health care, caregiver, and the list can go on. All these different senior care, seniors, like all this stuff is coming to my email every day. I get one email from each phrase every day with like 10 or 15 different articles, and I just read the topics, and if the topics seem interesting, I'll read the actual article. And I'm reading 10, 15 articles a day, just about the industry, so I can maintain leverage, maintain an edge on the market, because I know most people aren't able to do that, and even if they are, they probably won't be able to implement it. But the beauty of it is that you have the advantage by just, using that opportunity to better, prepare yourself to move forward in the marketplace. That was just an example, but there's multiple different ways that you could do it. There's classic books like The E-Myth that, teaches you the importance of, delegating, creating systems, outsourcing, and doing things like that. There's another book, The 4-Hour Work Week, another great book. And these books I've been talking about for years, but it seems like people come into my coaching programs, or they come to me for, just general advice. Like, I talk to so many people about this stuff. The beauty of it is that I don't have to be in my company. If I had to be in there doing stuff every day, I wouldn't be able to help anyone. So the luxury is that I've been able to delegate, create systems, and we just adding that one tool, the answering service. It gives me that much more peace of mind that everything is going to come into play. But what I was saying is that people are contacting me, and I can tell by the things that they're saying that, you know, they haven't done any real studying, haven't done any real investment in their knowledge or their professional career, professional business career. And it's very important that you do it. And it's no getting around it. There's no shortcut. This isn't, like I tell everybody, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to do the work. You have to do the research. You have to do the legwork. And, you know, it can sound overwhelming sometimes, but I like to remind people that, you know, it's going to be worth it in the end. And what you will get from it is freedom, financial, you know, liberation. You can, and what I try to also explain to is, like, when you're a small business and, you know, you don't have a big staff and you don't have all this great overhead, you can use this, you know, specialized information, this great information that you can learn from all these books, and you can get, you know, 4 clients. And then, you know, that'll change most people. If you get 4 full-time clients, most people's lives are going to change dramatically. You know, 4 full-time clients is on average, is close to 50. You should be, 4 full-time clients, you should be well over $50K a year with just 4 full-time clients. And just imagine you right now, whoever's listening on this phone, you had an extra $50K coming in every year. And this is not, you're not doing any work. You still probably working at your day job. You're not working at all these more shifts. You created systems. You put a business in place, but you had $50,000 extra dollars profit. Obviously, you got to pay taxes and all that stuff. But coming in outside of, you know, what you had prior to, and that's the luxury of being small and not really needing to, you know, create some huge company to really make a lifestyle change. And that's what I really want to, you know, drive to people, because they feel like they have to get 10, 20, 30 clients. And I'm not saying don't limit yourself. Dream big. Like, you know, prepare yourself to, you know, you want, you know, 50 clients. You want multiple offices. You want to take over the industry. You want to take over your county and then move into, you know, your state, then go state to state. Like, think like that, plan like that, operate like that. But understand that when you first getting started, you don't have to, this industry is so lucrative that it doesn't take much to really make a difference in the beginning. So just doing the work that's necessary to make a few good steps forward, you'll really benefit from it. And that's just the point I'm trying to make here. There is work on the front end, obviously. You got to study. You got to invest time. You got to listen to corny dudes like me on these kind of coaching calls. But it will pay off if you put the work in and make a couple strides, you know, forward. And in what industry, what person, if they put their mind to it, can't get 4 clients, can't get 5 clients? And if you can get 5, that means you can get another 5. Just do what you did and got the first 5. So now your income then went from 60 to 120. And this can happen in 12 months, 18 months. This can happen in 6 months. You can get a client a month. If you very, very serious, you stand on top of it, you out here shaking hands, you could get a client a week. So that's just something I wanted to put out there, because I just feel like I'm not hearing enough people talking about what the books they're reading. They're saying that they want to do this business. Like, what you reading? Where's your investment in yourself? How are you spending your time? Do you have block time? Do you understand the concept of block time? Are you blocking out 4-6 hours every day to put into your business? Okay, you got a full-time job. You work 12 hours. You only need, they say 8, but you only need 6 hours of sleep. If you're serious, you can use the other, 6 hours on your business. Why not? I mean, family, friends, relationships, entertainment, it comes later. And I have so much free time, I have to do stuff like this, or I'll become like, I'll become an alcoholic, or I'll waste money. You know what I mean? You have so much free time on the back end once you do the work that you can get back to all that stuff. I get on people's nerves because my dudes that got jobs, they be like, man, I can't hang out. I'll be like, man, let's go do something. It's Wednesday. I'm walking around like nothing to do. So it's like, you'll get that time back, but you got to put those days in, those hours in, those weeks in, those months in, those years in, and we put them in the front. We did that already. We built systems, we got clients, and now we can enjoy the benefit of it. And I'm young. I'm still in my 30s. And sometimes I feel like I'm already retired because of the amount of free time I've been able to leverage to building a company, using home care. And I don't have no extravagant lifestyle, but I make enough to where I don't have to work for anyone. So, and I don't have to, do day-to-day chores or day-to-day business operation stuff. So invest in yourself, read more books, avoid time-wasting activities, use block time, and take calculated risks. Don't be afraid to, put yourself out there, partner up with different people in strategic, planned out, good ways that, you're not going to hurt yourself. Always, if you do anything like that, make sure you get legal advice if you're going to do anything major, like, joining in a company. But don't be afraid to reach out to other people, see how you can help, see how they can help you. And sometimes we look at that as as taking a risk. You can't be afraid to spend money. And I know a lot of times, money is tight for people in the beginning. Like, we started from nothing. So I get it. But had we not took those first couple income tax checks, like, we had to wait to income tax. See, could you imagine wanting to do something and you got to wait 6 months before you can make one play? And it was like, and then when it gets there, it's like, damn, my car broke, my car raggedy, the furniture raggedy, the TV ain't got the high def like everybody else TV. And then you got this tax time, because this is stuff that pop up in most poor people's minds when it's tax season. Furniture, car, TV, and then maybe vacation. And that's just what it is. And because you've been suffering, so for the whole year you've been grinding, you feel like you deserve something. But you do deserve something. You deserve to figure out a way up out of that situation, and that's what investing in yourself and taking calculated risks is going to get you. That's what's really going to make the difference. Write down your goals. Write down your goals. Another corny, cliche thing that you hear everybody talking about. But guess what? 1,000 Chinamen ain't wrong. People say write your goals down because it works. I'm going to tell you something that really scared me. And I talked about it on the last call. When it comes to writing your goals, I think I talked about it on the last call, but I definitely talked about it at the last boot camp, that I wrote down my number. So, like, every year, me and my accountability partners / brother / homie, we don't do the New Year's popping bottles, all that in the clubs. We on December 31st, we locked in. He either at my house, I'm either at his house, or we go somewhere and we focus and writing out our goals for the year. Because we feel like how you start your year is going how your year going to play out, and that's how you're going to end it. So we usually lock in, strategize, and just writing down goals, and stuff like that. So what we did one year, and we continue to do it now, but this one particular year, I wrote down a dollar amount of what I felt like I wanted to make for that year, and I came in with within $10,000 of the number that I wrote down. And it scared the shit out of me. It was like, holy shit, this shit worked. You know what I mean? And I showed them. Like, bro, this is what I did. This is how much I made. And that's part of me and his accountability. Like, we go as far as showing each other's bank statements. Like, look, this is where I'm at. This was your goal. Like, what you doing? Why you not, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? Like, where you feel like you can tighten up at, or, where you feel like you you can invest more. Like, why, you're not hitting your number like you said. You said you wanted to be here in 90 days, and you here. So, like, that's what we got to talk about. But so anyway, I wrote it down. It came to fruition within like 10,000, and it was crazy to me. Two things that scared me. I was like, wow, I can't believe that. I wrote it down. I actually did it. So what I learned is that it's a theory that I ran across in one of these articles I read. I read all day. So there's an article. This is the first part of it. That it said labor. It's a term, and it says work adjust to the task. I'm not saying it right. I can find it and post it on Facebook, and I'm sure I did at a certain point. But it says the labor, your mind adjusts to the task that's in front of it. So if you say like you had a project at your job and you had 5 days to do the project, you probably won't get done with the project until like the last day. But that same exact project, if your boss told you he needed it in 2 days, you would figure out a way, even if you felt like that project would take 5 days and your boss felt like it would take 5 days, you would figure out how to do it. It's like a scientific concept where they did studies that the mind adjusts to the problem that you put in front of it. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself. I put that number in front of me and I reached it. Why I was upset and why I was pissed off is like, why didn't I make the number bigger? So I was like, damn, next time I'm going to do this and then I'm going to reach that, hopefully. So that's the power, I feel like, in writing your goals down. You got The Secret and all the mystical, magical stuff out there. You meditate and you visualize. That's cool. But I feel like when you actually put a problem in front of yourself, in front of your mind, you're going to start strategically, and it's something that you really believe in and you take it seriously. You have to believe in it. You have to want it to happen. You can't just write it down and go watch Netflix for the rest of the year. You have to really want it to happen, and you have to really take steps forward. But in the process of you taking steps towards it, you will begin to find ways to make it come true if you really, really want it to happen. Live on less. Like, live on less. You can always downgrade. Don't be afraid. I mean, I'm not. Let me stop. I don't want to say that you can always downgrade, because some people are, doing the best they can, and I don't want to slight anybody. But what I'm saying is, like, it's always ways to cut costs in your daily lifestyle or your monthly, weekly, yearly lifestyle. Learn to live on less. Learn to live on less. That's it. Like, I had to, like, reevaluate some things, and I was just looking at, like, all my bills, like what I was actually spending money on, personal stuff. And I had realized I had, like, every streaming service. Like, I could get on Hulu, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify. Like, I was paying for every service. And it was like, I wasn't even using all of them. But sometimes, like with the TV stuff, late night, I do, because I stay up late, I end up trying to watch some different stuff and I get bored, whatever. And then I got cable, I got HBO Showtime. Like, all this stuff is on there, but I don't even use it. It was there, so I had to, like, I just cut off all the credit cards that was, paying this stuff, and I reevaluated, like, why am I paying, it seems small, because that's how they get you, like $9 a month, and you're paying $9 a month 20 times, that's like, oh, this stuff start adding up on a yearly basis, especially when your accountant's looking at you like, hey, you watch a lot of TV, huh? And it's like, not actually, because I don't look at none of that stuff. If you go look at the login, I probably didn't even log in to half of that stuff. So learn to live on less. Look at your lifestyle and really think about how you can cut back and make some adjustments and make some changes. Make health a priority. Something that I really, and a lot of men I think we struggle with, that, we think we can just do everything and not really we could just muscle through without, really making health a priority. And I'm sure women, in your just day-to-day, sometimes you overlook certain things that you need to work on health-wise, whether that's diet, exercise, going to the doctor on a regular basis, like really focus on making health a priority. I don't want to get too deep into it and get, too personal, but health is definitely something that is more valuable than anything else that I can ever talk about. Because if you can't enjoy it, there's no point in having it. So health, wake up, try to, get a run in, wake up a little earlier, get a walk in, do something right in front of your bed, do some, some running in place, some squats, some push-ups, something, anything, just get your blood flowing, get your heart rate up. And believe it or not, when those endorphins, or what they call, drip into your bloodstream, it changes the whole dynamic of your day. Like if you start out with it, if I work out, and I don't know why I don't work out every day because I know the benefit, but it's like I know if I work out first thing in the morning, my day is going to be super. You think that, okay, I'm going to work out, I'm going to be tired. No, it works the opposite. If you work in the morning, you're going to have super energy because that's just how it works. Adrenaline going to drip into your bloodstream, and it's going to give you a boost, and it's all this other psychological stuff going to happen. You're going to feel good about yourself. Work out. Make your health a priority. Learn from people that you admire. Do things that, study people who you look up to. I've been making it a point to watch, inspiring documentaries, opposed to watching. I'm a gangster movie fanatic. I watched The Godfather word for word. I could ignore it in my sleep. Goodfellas, all the Scarfaces, the old stuff from the 50s, the 80s. I know all the gangster movies, and it's it is what it is. That's something I enjoy. But I'm trying to, always develop personally. So I committed to saying, instead of watching that kind of, and I'm not a big sports dude, but I see a lot of documentaries that, consist of these athletes. And for the first time, I watched the Kobe Muse documentary on Netflix or on Showtime, and it was just amazing. You know what I mean? I always, don't get me wrong, I haven't been living in a cave. I know Kobe exists. I know he's a beast. I know he's one of the best ever, but I never really understood him and his mindset. And when I had really, it started out from me reading a book. First of all, let me say that. I read the book Relentless. The author, Tim Grover, the book was, celebrating Kobe the whole time. So it made me want to watch the documentary because I was more interested in the psychology than, the actual sport of it. But by doing it, I just learned a lot of, great things about, what it actually takes to be successful, and not just be successful. It's a lot of successful people out there. It's only one Kobe Bryant. It's a lot of successful people out there. It's only one Michael Jordan. It's only one LeBron. These dudes have reached the pinnacle, Mayweather, the pinnacle of success, and they're athletes. And we celebrate the athletes because, it's sport and, a lot of people go around it. But it's people in other genres as well, other industries as well. We see it in technology with guys like Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and we see it in, politics with Obama, even Trump, he did it, however he did it, he won. A serious underdog, came up and did some great stuff based on, what he was up against. So I'm not interested in the whole personality and all that stuff. I'm just interested in the psychology and the ability to win and be great and the force and impose your will and dig deep and bite down on your teeth and use all the grit and the might in your spirit to not give up. And that's something that I'm excited about, and I want you guys to also do. Pick up a book, Oprah. I talk to a lot of women, so I don't really know a lot of great women to think about, to study, but obviously you guys are, in the world, so you see women who you admire or people that you admire, or men as well. Study people who you admire. Reach out to them. in this day and age, Instagram, one of, you know, I'm my accountability partner, he's always Instagramming these people because he does real estate. He's getting rappers to invest with him, you know, because now the trend is, you know, don't spend all your money on Rolex watches, buy real estate, invest. He's reaching out. He's using that. He saw that happening in the marketplace. He's a real estate investor. He's getting real investment from real rappers, and it's insane to me. 10 years ago would have never been the case. He's inboxing people, and it's happening. So you can definitely not only learn from people you admire, you can actually get in contact with them and maybe get a phone call or some kind of company with them. So, you know, dream big, and, you know, don't hesitate to, you know, try some different things, and, you know, you'll be surprised what the results may be. Foster meaningful relationships. Do what you can to create relationships with the right people. Don't neglect the relationships with the right people. And on the flip side, you know, you have to let go of the bad relationships if there are any. And that's a scary place. It's a scary thing. You have to, you know, get out of, you know, the negativity. You have to let it go. You have to release the chains of negativity. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I feel like for me personally, it's mental. It's a personal thing for me. So if I'm in a negative relationship with somebody, it's something in me that I'm, you know, dealing with negatively that I want to continue to re-engage that person. They're just a reflection of something that's going on with me personally. So if I'm having issues with it, because mine, you know, most of the time it's family members or, you know, spouses, so, or, you know, relationships. So you have to really just take a real inventory on what's important to you, how those things are affecting you, the relationships, the language that's being used, because usually it's a lot of language, like a lot of negative language that can pull you down. Like certain things could be said. One phrase could tear down, you know, it can ruin your whole day, and you're already fragile because you're out here as an entrepreneur by yourself, usually trying to figure it out. And you don't, you know, you can't win in a negative environment. It's just impossible to overcome everything negative against you outside in the world and then also in your own personal space. So the least thing you can do is make sure that your personal environment, the people you deal with are positive, they're celebrating you, they're supportive and stuff like that. And the people who aren't, even, you know, you got people who passively, you know, are negative, and, you know, you got to be wary of those people too, who always say, well, I don't know. You know, it's always like those kind of situations as well that you want to be mindful of and definitely avoid. Be grateful, take action, massive action. And this is when it's 8:00. We could do some Q&A, but I'm going to stop here. Massive action. Be grateful, very important. Be grateful. I have to stop sometimes. And I'm gonna tell you, this is another conversation. Then I'm gonna get into taking massive action, the importance, and how you can really see some great results when you do start taking massive action. But I'm gonna tell you about this conversation about being grateful that I just had with my same person. I only talked to one person about this kind of stuff, and I was telling him that I was actually feeling bad because I'm doing so much better than so many other people that I'm connected to. And I never thought that I would get to this point. And again, I'm not extravagantly rich or anything, you know, like that. But at the level that I see people suffering, that's connected to me, family, friends, people I've known, and I look at my situation, and I begin to, you know, like why, you know, what makes me so good? You know, why am I not struggling like that? Like, why I feel like I belong in the struggle too, you know. And it's just like he had to let he like, bro, you read 6-7 hours a day. You invested your money in yourself. You took programs. You study. You know what I mean? You give for yourself. That's why you in the situation you in. You took action. You know what I mean? You faced fears. So, you know what I mean? You did that. And it was like, I needed to hear that. I needed for him to say, like, you did those things. So I was like, damn, you're right, bro. Like, I did come over some stuff to get here. It was not easy. And they had the same opportunities as well, especially when you connected to them and you're not only showing them through example, which is the only way you can really help anyone is by leading by example. You telling them, you showing them. And you know, family, friends, I give it to them for free. I tell them every time, hey, what you doing? What's up? Boom, 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 man, get with this, do this, that. And they say, yeah, then I'll never hear from them again. Or they call me 6 months later, like, yeah, what's going on with that? And it's like, you know, it gets old. But I was definitely in a place where I was having some remorse, like, you know. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. You get older, you get a little softer, and you start thinking about other people's situation, and you're looking around at society, and you're like, wow, you know, I see my brothers out here struggling, you know, these sisters out here, like, man, I just want to help as many people as I can. And this is my charity. This is how I give back, you know, through helping people, like, you know, through these coaching programs. It's not free, of course, but it's not expensive. You know, everything, my most expensive program is cheap. So I don't feel bad about it. And I feel very good about the amount of people that I do help. And, you know, this is how I, you know, remain grateful. And, you know, this is how I show my gratitude. So that's important. And I just wanted to share that before we got off the line. Closing with the massive action. I learned a statement that, you know, take massive action from the sales guy, Grant Cardone. Great study Grant Cardone. I'm sure you probably heard of him. All you got to do is put sales in YouTube or sales in Google and, you know, poke around a little bit and you'll run across him. But he's a great coach, mentor, business leader, inspiration, and definitely a salesperson because, you know, I've bought some of his products, books, and so forth. Taking massive action just does something to you. It does something to your situation. It moves mountains. It splits the seeds for you. It opens up opportunity. When you just take massive action, what's an example of massive action? When the young lady was speaking at the beginning, I'm sure it was Nakia. She mentioned that she had, you know, after the last phone call last week, she said, you know what, I redid my list. I went back and I Googled, you know, all the nursing homes in my city or all the nursing homes in my county, and I started making phone calls and I started making visits. There's no limitation to what you can do. So as long as you're making effort and you're taking action, you can really push this thing to any level that you want. There's no limitation. There's 10,000 seniors becoming 65 every day for the next 10 years. 4,000 seniors turn 80 every day for the next 10 years. Do you know how many seniors that is? There's not enough of us to service the market, period. There's not enough franchises. There's just not enough caregivers. It's not enough. So there's going to be seniors left over. You know what I mean? So if you can get your caregivers and you can get enough clients, you can get your clients, you can get, if there's 10,000 seniors turning 65 every day, why you can't get 4? Why you can't get 5? Why you can't get 100? I just want 100. There's 4,000 people turning 85 every day in America. I just want 100. Just give me 100. I just want 100. That's it. And then you go at it like a pit bull. You know, you do the things that you hear other people are working. You study the industry. You be creative. You come up with your own ideas. I got in this business I'm so unconventional. So, like, everything we do is totally different from everything everybody else doing. Like, I listen to the experts and stuff like that. I see them. I take what they got going on and I tweak it and I make it better, and I just make it work for me and my market and the things that I'm doing. So these are the things that you can be doing. You can be building your list, digging deep, making this. If you can build a list of, say, for example, 200 assisted livings, 200 altogether, assisted livings, adult daycare centers, rehab centers, hospitals, nursing homes, and you can get a list of 200. What's stopping you from calling 10 a day, every day, and then following up every day, 10 a day, every day, 10 a day, every day? What's stopping you from going out to, that's just maybe one county. So now you go to the 5 closest counties to you, and now you got 200 in each county. What's stopping you from making 50 calls a day, or setting up a system where you can hire someone and make, at least make the contact to get the ball rolling, to establish the relationship, or sending, if you can't get on the phone, sending emails. Every email's free, so you can send as many as you want. That's why I send so many to y'all. I still pay for them, but I send them because, they're the cheapest way to communicate with people. So there's nothing stopping you. Massive action creates results. Tiptoeing in the community, tiptoeing around. Oh, I went and passed out 2 brochure racks, and I put up 3 flyers in the grocery stores. Man, you might as well just stay in the bed, because you just wasted everybody's time. You wasted gas. You wasted, you know what I mean? You just wasting your time. You have to take massive action to get little results. So if you take little action, you ain't get no results. So, but massive action, it creates momentum, and momentum is king. You want to create momentum, and the only way you're going to be able to create momentum is through taking massive action. And the beauty about momentum, once you create it, it's like a snowball at the top of a mountain, of a snowy mountain. When you roll it down, it's going to eventually turn into an avalanche. But you got to first climb the mountain and then roll that ball down there, that snowball down there. And it's going to start off small, and that's okay. But when you get the momentum, it's going to feel like, it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary. You're going to be in so many calls. You're going to be making so much money. You're going to be doing things that you never thought you'd done before. You're going to be able to travel. You're going to be able to give. You're going to be able to, do things for your children. You're going to be able to change your community if that's something that you want to do. You're going to be able to buy a house if you're renting. You can buy a bigger house if you already got, if you feel like you want a bigger house, if you already got a small house. You can, things are going to change, but it starts with massive action today. That's it. You got me, you guys, well, I got myself a little bit wired up. It's 8:10 now, so we got any closing thoughts or questions? I'm still here if you guys want to chime in, or you got any questions before we get off. Anything? Hello? And I've probably been talking to myself like the last 30 minutes. Is there anybody still on the call?
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm gonna let you guys start you guys this weekend, and we'll catch up next Friday. And in the meantime, if you got any questions, shoot me a message on Facebook. Call me during the work hours during the day on the phone. Shoot me an email, text, or whatever, and I'll do my best to answer your questions or help you out the best way I can. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
All right, no problem.
All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.